Okay, so I'm trying out the WSGT Megane Trophy version 1.1 mod that just came out today on Fields 3's Croft circuit that's in North Yorkshire, I believe. I've been there, and Fields 3 has done a fantastic job of getting the details right with this track. But this Megane Trophy, as many of you know, there's already a Megane Trophy car in the game, so it's interesting to see what this one's like. I've already done a couple of laps, and already it seems like there's quite a good deal of depth to how the car handles. It seems to have quite different characteristics to the ISI Megane Trophy car. I'm not very good at driving this car, so it's been a bit of an interesting experience. There's quite nice depth to how it grips corners. It's not as locked in as the default Megane Trophy car that's in the game, and it tends to want to slide about quite a bit more. Now, I always used to really like the Megane Trophy for online racing, because I think just due to the nature of the car, it's quite a light car, it's nice and fast, but then it has really tight braking distances, as well as a ridiculously oversized rear wing, allowing it to grip corners. So often you could have pretty good races with fairly average skilled drivers on the public server with Megane Trophy. And that goes back to, so many of you probably remember Bro's Megane Trophy server in rFactor 1. It's probably still running. That's where I used to spend a lot of time, as I totally missed the corner. I think the AI are better than me at this track, which is quite depressing. They've done a really good job with the tone of the engine in this mod. It's got a really nice rounded tone to it. I don't know how better to say it, as the AI seems to struggle with that corner, but I don't think the engine lines up exactly with the revs of what you're doing. Like, it doesn't line up as you'd expect, and when you come off the throttle, the off rev sound seems to have a downshift in it, which is a little bit off-putting. There's a real lack of grip on the track. But I don't think this is a final version of the track, and for an earlier version of the track, of the mod, but for an earlier version of the mod, it seems really promising, and I'm surprised that people aren't running it online yet. So I think the track might just be really green. Oh, you can't go this way. Yeah, I think the track might just be really really green, and as a result the car's not sticking to it at all. But I've run a couple of laps on it, so the car models are really nice as well. The internal model is really nicely textured. It's got all the details you'd expect, and the external car model as well just looks really fantastic. That's one of the things rFactor 2 really has going for it. Out of all the games with AI, on the tracks where the AI pass is set up properly, I think you can get quite a lot of good play just driving against AI. I wouldn't quite put on a par with game stock car, but if you're just going to race AI, I think rFactor 2 is quite a good title, especially with all these mods coming out. I'm really struggling to get any grip. Need to put super glue on my wheels. Fields 3's done a really good job on just the road detailing, just subtle little bumps in the track, as well as the overall actual finishing off of the track. I mean, it really is spot on with the real track. I like the braking sound as well. I don't know if it's a default braking sounds really nice. It's just a little squeal of the brakes as you dab the brake on. Off-road excursion there. I really need to... I'm finding it hard to get an immediate feel for this car in terms of where its limit is and sticking on that limit. Seems to be sticking a bit now the track's getting worn in and my tyres are warming up. A moderate and medium to high speed, the car seems to handle really nicely. I think at lower speed on tighter corners or where you might... Oh dear. Oh dear, what is it doing? This isn't circus. At lower speed corners, when you're putting the throttle down and powering out, that tends to happen. And there's no real feel for that. And there seems to be an inherent issue with a lot of rFactor cars where you can just get locked into this weird, sloppy spin. Even the AI is doing it, but I think that's just some. I think that's just because they're hitting the curb funny. This track's probably been updated. I might be running an older version of the track actually, so can't really blame anyone for the AI pass. I also find with rFactor 2 you really have to fiddle with it to get the most out of it, like fiddle with the force feedback, fiddle with the car setup a bit. Often the defaults probably, well, they work and they're generally good, but I think a lot of people would want to spend time getting the car to their liking to get the most out of it. Whereas I find with game stock car, Assetto Corsa, even games like GTR Evo and Racer and what have you, the default setups are fine. Like they're really neutral setups that anyone could just jump in. And I'm really struggling with these low speed corners. I'm going to load this car up on Spa actually and give it a go on some faster sweeping corners and see how it handles on there. Just going to get a plane. Okay, so I've just landed in Spa in Belgium, and let's give this WSGT car a go there. And now Spa, obviously famous for Eau Rouge and its long high-speed sweeping corners, which are a really good test I find for the general characteristics of the car physics, or like how each car handles, because they're quite prolonged corners, so you get a good amount of time and ability to adjust the car and feel how it goes through the corner. Megane for me always seemed to be oh, okay, tyre's a little bit cold there. Luckily this isn't real life, and so my trousers are still clean. Distance fogs looks really nice actually. I love distance fogs in distant fogs. I really like when distance fog is done properly in virtual environments. It really adds atmosphere, and it's something that it's dead simple. I mean, it's been in games since Half-Life 1, but I think when done properly, it just adds a lot to the environment, to a 3D scene. Need for Speed Shift did a really good job on that sense of atmospheric conditions, but this looks nice. I'm supposed to be testing the car, not going about the tracks. Okay, hopefully the tyres warm up a little bit. Oh, 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 oh. I mean, it seems fairly predictable. I've not got too much grip at the moment. That could be to do with the track being green as much as anything. But the car's seems quite predictable. I'd definitely put this mod car on a par with the default one that's in the game. I mean, I don't know which one lines up with the real car, but I'm never going to drive the real car, so I don't really care. As long as it's fun and seems convincing, without anything crazy going on, that's all that really matters. Unless you're going to drive this car in real life. Braking way too early there. Oh, it's doing that low. Can't just. There's no feel at low speed when you're turning and you want to put the gas on. I'm just gonna have to practice that and then memorize the point and the speeds rather than trying to do it through feel. I do seem to be really struggling with this car actually. I've probably been driving too much of the Lotus in Assetto Corsa. To drive more GT style cars and get back into that side of things. Since the last version of... Oh, braking way too early again. Since the last version of rFactor 2, I definitely think they've improved the game performance. It seems to be running a lot smoother for me. I'm using Shadowplay to record this as usual, and that doesn't seem to impact my frame rate too much, but it puts a little bit of extra strain on it, and so you really notice it when when games improve their optimization. It seems to boost it quite a bit. Will it stick? No, I've gone in too fast again. Sticking a little bit more. Oh dear. The driving could be a lot better here. Not really putting the car through its paces. The force feedback definitely seems right. And the general car characteristics certainly seem, from my experience in Megane Trophy and other games, or other rFactor versions, and from what you see in videos of this car in real life, it seems fairly convincing. It's a really solid mod actually. So just be interested to see if people actually start running it on servers. For some reason, rFactor 2 just seems to be a bit dead online recently. Earlier on in the beta, there's quite a few servers. Then ISI put up their own servers using their live races thing, and they were pretty popular for a good like 2 or 3 months, and then they seem to have disappeared. So then a lot of people are having problems trying to actually connect again. So I'm not sure what's going on with the online rFactor 2. I have a suspicion that rFactor 2 is going to turn into a sort of private league racing game only for people that are specifically interested in rFactor 2, sort of rFactor 2 fans, people that really like the rFactor 2 physics. I'm not sure what's going to happen to the public servers in rFactor 2. Doesn't look too good at this point in time. Let's go to a race. Okay, next session. I'm going to do this 5-lap race, and then that'll do for my first test of this car. Obviously, this is not enough time to get a full picture of this car. And it's certainly not a car that's coming naturally to me. Oh, it's alright, I've got plenty of money to buff out my car after this race. Well, the track should have a bit of rubber on it this time, see if it sticks. Oh, yeah, there we go. That was quite nice. This is a train simulator part where you just drive in a straight line, admire the scenery. Not quite sure on the car setup I'm using, but well, this car doesn't really excite me, to be honest, but it doesn't seem like a bad mod. And I think if you're just interested in cars in general and you just wanted to race a Megane trophy for the sake of it with AI, then it's a really nice mod. Will it stick? Oh no, too much speed. That was terrible. Oh dear, that's proper. Oh, yeah, the strips at the side of the track are very slippy. Entirely my fault. So I really want to play rFactor 2 with a servo wheel. Well, I want to play all the iRacing, Assetto Corsa, Games Stock Car and rFactor 2 with the servo wheel, because I just consumer force feedback wheels like my little old school G25. It's just not good enough. It's too weak. It's not fast enough. I mean, it's remarkable for the price and the quality you get from its price. And mine's lasted years, but it's not. It doesn't meet the minimum requirement to match what a real car wheel would do. So everything is ultimately going to be really abstract. As a result, you get many situations in the car where the steering wheel probably would have corrected itself, but because of using a consumer force feedback wheel, you're having to manually move everything around, and you can't feel the details as much as you probably would with a servo wheel, and certainly not as much as you would with sat in a real car, feeling all the G-forces through your backside. So I think that'll do for wrap up. This is a sort of let's play video of the WSGT 1.1 mod. Definitely worth downloading if you've got rFactor 2, and if like I say, if you enjoy playing against AI, really good solid car as it is right now. If you predominantly race online, then no one's driving online with it at the moment. Maybe some private leagues are setting up, but it looks pretty dead right now. So thanks for watching me drive this car really badly and not say that much insightful about it. As I say, it's not my cup of tea particularly. Would be if there's online racing with it, but there isn't. But I have to say congratulations to the mod team for producing a car that looks awesome. The engine sounds, I don't say they're perfect, but they're a step in the right direction, what they've done with the samples, and it's got nice tonality to it. Really nice car model. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. Don't forget you can obviously subscribe and like it if you liked it. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do more sort of pootering around in mod cars, or if I shouldn't bother. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.